Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sheana Davis, the Epicurean Connection, and today we are honored to have two of our favorite cheesemonger cheese shop owners in the country, Kendall and John Antonelli, and they are in Texas. So we've expanded our horizons, and it's exciting to have you two have the time to join us. I know you're busy with your family and running your retail operations, so I want to thank you both for joining us today.
Yay! Hi, Shauna. And if like life is happening, if you can't hear my son and husband are having a disagreement about virtual schooling right off camera on the side of me. So this is the day and age we live in. So John will be joining us as soon as he can help Everett get through whatever learning thing they've got going on right now.
You know what? We're all learning how to balance life. So John will come up with a solution and then he'll join us again. So Kendall, why don't you share with our listeners about our cheese chat? You know, our line for the cheese chat is cheese chats creating community through cheese. And we're a big community across the country. So thank you for taking the time.
Yes, this has been, I think, one of the hardest, I don't know, I can't say one of the hardest things. Isn't everything one of the hardest things in 2020? One hard thing is that us as a cheese community, nobody gets into cheese to make money. We all hope that we make money to stay in cheese, but it is about the people and the products and the cheese. And we've all missed each other at the American Cheese Society conference and at different food shows. And so, yeah, that one of the reasons we all know that this industry can be tough, just surviving in this climate. And so one of the reasons that we do it and how we get re-energized and fuel in our tanks is to all see each other and remind ourselves, like, this is why we are in this industry. And it's been really hard to not do that. So I love being with you today. And I told John, was like, what's the agenda? And I was like, the agenda is we're casually talking with cheese friends and reminding each other that we're all out there and we miss each other.
I'm going to hire you for the PR. Perfect. These started in the beginning of the pandemic. I called up Ari Weinswig at Zingerman's, who we all love. And I said, I want to start these cheese chats. What do you think? And he's like, when do we start? And that's how it started.
Yep.
And it's been really refreshing to catch up with people across the country. And we also decided we didn't do this to sell something, even though we are all trying to sell what we make and produce. But nobody has to pay to get in, and nobody has to buy a box of anything to be part of the cheese chat. And
right.
That's my goal. And most importantly, I get to wave to you. Hopefully your kids will run through. So tell us give us the history of Antonelli, so some people may not know.
Sure. So we actually, in February, we celebrated our 10-year anniversary. So for us, that was huge. There have been some patchy years where we didn't know if we were going to make it, especially 2018 was a really hard year where we almost thought we were going to go bankrupt across the business because we had opened up a different business spinoff that literally did not pay off. And in fact, we thought we were going to go all the way under. So hitting that 10-year milestone was huge for us in February. It was just a couple weeks before everything shut down in Austin. But we started, John is a CPA by trade, a certified public accountant. I ran a program for survivors of human trafficking here in Austin at a nonprofit. So I only say that to the point that literally neither one of us had anything to do with cheese or the specialty food industry. And we were on our honeymoon in Grenada in the Caribbean. So an island that's 7 by 13, known for seafood, not for cheese. John turned to me on the beach and said, I'm going to quit my job when we get home. And I was like, what are you going to do? And he said, I don't know, something in cheese. So we literally have no idea how or why we picked it. And in that way, we say cheese picked us. But John said, give me 2 years. I'm going to figure it out and open my own business, or I'll go back to being a CPA. So I was like, that's cute. You do you. And then along the way, it became something that we fell in love with together. We were running a gourmet grilled cheese club out of our house in Austin. And it all always, as anybody knows, when you host a dinner party, although we may have all forgotten what that was like since it's been over a year ago or half a year ago, everybody gathers in the kitchen. And for us, it turned into not the grilled cheeses, but, oh my gosh, taste this cheese. This is made by this 16-year-old. Isn't it amazing? Oh, wait, remember that random jar of jelly we got in some weird fruit basket? Bring that out. And tasting and pairing and telling the stories. And so for us, that's how it was like, wait, Austin doesn't have a cheese shop. Hey, we like to eat and talk and be together. This is something that we could do and be passionate about and be purposeful about and do it together and have fun. And that's how Antonelli's was born.
That's fantastic. And congratulations on 10 years. That's amazing.
Yeah, we made it a decade. Whatever happens, we could say we made it a decade.
We all get I'll call them valleys and mountains, and you climb up one mountain, you slip down the other side. And us too, we've had, chapters of our cheese life that we thought was going to be fantastic. And we're like, that's not going to work. So we just keep moving forward in cheese.
That's right.
I never thought we'd reopen a cheese shop. And guess what we did during the pandemic?
I know, it's crazy.
So we had an event. It was a classroom when we could host 20 people at a time, and then it was sitting empty. So we decided, let's open it up for retail and get zoned essential. And now we're only open 2 days a week, Friday, Saturday, 10 to 4. And we decided to compact our customers, to a manageable time. And it's been really great. We just ordered another cheese case.
Yay! That's awesome. Way to go. I know it's weird. These valleys are huge. Valleys and mountains are huge during this pandemic. Some of the pivots we made, we immediately, and I know we're all sick of hearing the word pivot. Everybody, we agree. We had, when South by Southwest was canceled here in Austin, we overnight lost 95% of that business, of our wholesale business. And we'd already ordered in all that cheese, and we weren't going to we're in partnerships with our restaurants. We're not going to hold them accountable when they're not open. So all of a sudden and it was a ton of fresh product. So we were sitting on all this fresh product. And then we'd already sold, I think, $30,000+ in revenue for classes, which we were going to have to cancel. So we quickly transitioned those to virtual. And now to date, we've taught over 13,000 people just since March in virtual tasting. So that was something that we did it because we had to, and we didn't see another way. And then it's turned out to be profitable for us and a benefit for us. And then an additional way for us to continue connecting with people through cheese. And so if we have to be physically distanced, we need to stay socially connected. And we're getting to do that now, global, cross country and globally too.
That is the fascinating part with these Zoom classes, global. I mean, I attended a class in Dubai last week, at 2 a.m. because it was about cheese. And I'm like, that sounds interesting.
Super cool. What was that one about?
It was hosted by the French Cheese Association. And it was the ICCA, which is a cooking school that I taught at last year in Dubai. And I stay in touch with the instructors. And so I'm on their email list. And I was like, that one sounds fun. And
love it.
Minus having to get up at 2 a.m, but it was also really fun to see all the chefs that had been in our USA cheese classes now doing the French cheese class. And so it was just really fun to connect with people all over the globe. And they're Philippines, you name it, they were from all over the globe. So
I love it. So we just did our first global cheese tasting, and everybody domestically, we shipped the boxes to, and then we worked with cheese shops abroad, and they shipped them to the people in other countries. So we had 10 countries on, but that was super fun for us because we were getting to say, you're eating this little cheese. Oh my gosh, this is my favorite cheese. I haven't gotten to have it in 8 years. Enjoy it, And so we got to speak to these different cheeses that people were having around the globe, which was pretty fun.
How fun is that?
Yeah. And I was jealous. I mean, we were like, if you have not licked your plate yet, we're upset.
Well, tell us about some of what do you have in your retail selection that you enjoy sharing with your customers when they come in, or when you get a chance to, deliver a box to them? I always like to hear what you have locally. I know you're lucky you have Pure Luck and Dripping Springs, who we love. So
yes, we are in the hill country here in the center of Texas. So known for its goats. We've got a lot of great goat milk producers. And so in addition to Pure Luck Farm and Dairy, we also have CKC Farms run by Chrissy Omo and her brothers, Kenny and Connor. We have Bee Tree Farm now in Manor. That's the closest farmstead cheese maker to Austin. And then we also have Goatalicious between us and San Antonio. So we are in, and a fun challenge for us is how do we always equitably support all of them in whatever way we can. And when a new one springs up, what new product can we add to the line that everybody grows together? So we've got all those amazing goat cheese makers. And then we've also got some great cow's milk producers around here. So down closer to San Antonio, we have Riverway Creamery with Susan Rigg. Her first year, I think she entered ACS. She won a ribbon. We've also got Eagle Mountain Farmhouse Cheese up in Granbury, Dave Eagle. His first year entering ACS, he won a ribbon for his Birdville Reserve Trappist style cheese. And then Veldhuizen's. And so we've got a lot of fun cheese that really, with the exception of Pure Luck and Dallas Mozzarella Company, most of these cheesemakers have really come about in the 10 years we've been around, either starting right before us or right around that time, or since we've been open. And so we've gotten to be a part of that journey of all of us getting better together, which has been pretty cool and improving. And weren't we young and naive then? Or and I'm sure we'll say that 5 years from now too, hopefully if we're still around. So cheese is great. I don't have it in front of me, but super cool, Sheana. We just had our first 2 cured meat producers who can now sell for resale. So we had a couple in Texas, but they could only sell direct to public. So with the legal things, licensing being the way it is, USDA, they couldn't sell for resale.
Right.
That being said, we now have 2 producers who can sell for resale. So we have Visca Charcuteria and the Salumeria. And so there have been some amazing things to come out of the pandemic. And one is that we have 2 new producers who we can legally sell their charcuterie.
Fantastic.
Yes, so that's a big one. And then we've got some other goodies here we can chat too.
Oh, please. And I know we've been on the waiting list for one of our local charcuterie places, Fatted Calf, which is in Napa at Oxbow, and literally on the waiting list. And I just on a whim last week called him. I'm like, so Taylor, I opened up a new cheese shop. And he's like, you're still on the list. And he's like, and you're in the top 10. He's like, if you're opening up, you can have it. And so now we have his bacon and his charcuterie in our shop now.
Awesome. I think that's what people often say, how do you get new products? And it's like, well, we want what we love, right? As owners, my goal is never to push anything on anybody. In fact, we hold ourselves accountable to the whole team. We're like, if there's something that we're selling that you don't like, let us know, because we want all of us to love it. But we're the first distributor for Smoking Goose in Texas, and one of the first people that they shipped out of state. And that had been every single year we would call and say, hey, we love your products. Are you shipping out of state yet? And it would be it's not even like it was on our calendar, just be on a whim, like, hey, none of us have checked in with Smoking Goose lately. Let's call them up. And then finally they were like, actually, yes, it just went through a couple of weeks ago. And we were like, send the pallets. And so, I guess for better or for worse, those poor makers having to put up with passionate folks like us who are like, give us your product.
Well, it's been really a treat and an honor to carry the quality of meats that Taylor's making. He's using heritage bred pigs and pork and just amazing products. So we were just so excited. Like you said, the first day it came in, we took one home and cooked it up and made BLTs, eating our profits right off the top.
Yeah, it's a good product when you bring it in and then it doesn't actually make it to retail because all of your team buys it. I feel like that's happened a few times for us. Yeah.
Fun that way. So, and tell our viewers, I know you do your wholesale and your cheese classes, which are now virtual, and your cheese shop. And so how are you planning for some holiday baskets shipping out, or people ordering to-go boxes?
Well, I'm sure like everybody out there, we are trying to guess, what do the holidays have in store? So being in Texas, we do most of our business in November and December. Believe it or not, it's hard to get people to buy cheese when it's 110 degrees outside. So while we're always looking to diversify our revenue stream throughout the year, and events has helped with that, really for retail, November and December is when it all comes in. And we at this time, since March, our doors have been shut to the public. So you can place your orders for our shop online or by phone daily. We have a certain amount of pickup slots, and then people come up and we deliver into trunks. So it's really hard to predict what our retail sale is going to look like without being open to customers. And we have no intention of opening before the holidays. So to your point, we have invested in our e-commerce program. So just today, John got back so we have 3 locations. We have our brick and mortar, we have our cheese house where we do all of our events, normally rented out for events and stuff. And then we have a warehouse. Well, we rented another warehouse next to our warehouse solely, Sheana, to store ice packs. So we got, last year, at some point, we ran out of the ability to sell products, to ship products, only because we couldn't keep ice packs frozen. So we were like, okay, we can't sell it if we don't have it. And the number one sticking point for us was freezer space and ice packs. And so we'll see if this gamble pays off, because we have rented an entire another facility and stocked it with pallets of ice packs. So I'm really hoping we get to ship a lot of cheese.
We're right behind you on that. We just ordered our ice packs. We just ordered the freezer, and we're like, may the gods be with us for our, this crazy investment. So I think we're all doing that. And we're also going into gift boxes, but it's not the same economy that we were all in last year. And so we've started a local section, a walk-in, gifts under $10, $20, and $30. And those are already wildly popular, just so you know, so we've even worked with some of our cheesemakers to make smaller wedges for us. So then we can get the wedges to the guests at the 10 or the 20 or the 30. And that's actually been really great. And working with some of our jam and jelly producers, honeys. And so we put the email blast out to our locals last week, and we've already got orders. So that's a good sign, I think.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think for us, we have some, for our retail pickup, we have some very ideally accessible entry-level packages. And then actually for our shipping, we're not shipping the lowest. We usually have a 35 and 40, but anything we ship is expensive from Texas. And people don't realize that when they're shipping it from New York and Michigan, but with anything in Texas, any time of the year, it's hot. And it could be hot and cold all in the same day. But so we always ship minimum 2-day on a lot of ice. So we don't have the ability to ship those $30 and $40 packages, we think, this year, because if we know we can only send out this amount of gifts, we need to be able to make sure that that program can pay for itself. So we're only doing some bigger gifts for the shipping program. Again, we'll see how that pans out. But we know that with the way we're divided with labor right now, which is in these different pods, which don't overlap, that we only have a certain amount of man and woman power during a shift. And we need to spend it on a program that will pay for itself. I think where we're putting the eggs, the basket we're putting our eggs in, let's just say the box we're putting our cheese in, is in March. Yeah, that's going to be the new one. In March, we had been saying to do this for years, but it just wasn't right, and we couldn't make it perfect. And then we were like, screw it, what needs to be perfect now? But we finally launched our cheese class in a box. So that has been our most popular item. That's what we're banking on. Hopefully we'll sell a lot during the holidays. But it's our cheese 101 so it's basically, it can be a standalone gift and people just open it and eat it. Or it also comes with 2 video links inside of it. One 5-minute on how to set up your cheese plate for this tasting. And then another one is an hour long of John and I talking through it like we would in a class. So they can do it by themselves right then. Or the cooler part for us is that people have told us they've sent it to 5 family members, and then they all get on and they'll watch the video together, but do it as a live tasting together. So more ways to, again, stay connected, educate on good cheese, and just enjoy it in times that are really difficult to enjoy.
Yes, it's so important. And aren't you glad that cheese brings so many people pleasure?
Yes.
People want to eat the cheese. They want to order the cheese. They want to enjoy the cheese. And I mean, I might have to order a box from you. That sounds fun.
And then you can tell us how to improve it or not. We're always open to suggestions. So yeah, we're rolling out now we have our regular cheese box, cheese 101, and an American cheese box. And now we're rolling out our cheese and chocolate and cheese and charcuterie
nice.
Cheese in a box. So exciting.
That's super exciting.
Can you poke your head in and say hi? John is officially on schooling duties right now.
Hey y'all. It's awesome to see you. Thanks for talking with us tonight. I wish I could be with you, but the kids are calling.
No, but I praise the parent who's keeping up with the schooling currently. I don't know if I might have taken a year off from school when I look at my friends.
I'm not kidding. The reason that I'm with you is, besides the fact that I'm the chatty one, is that I do not have nearly the patience that my husband has. And so he has been a rock star. He gets up every day and does work from 4 to 8. Then from 8 to 2, he helps kids with their virtual schooling. And then 2 to 6 gets back on and works. I just work all day because I can't stand to help my children with virtual schooling. People may say it makes me less of a mother or a woman or a parent. You know what? I'm okay with it. We got to get through these times how we got to get through with them. And I just when I'm trying to help them with school, I sort of just end up saying put the period there, no. And so they're not learning anyway. I'm just doing the work. Somehow it's not an ideal scenario. So
I might be in your same category. My daughter's sitting right across the room from me, but I think I might have taken her and just taught her how to do welding and I might have put her down the union job trail. You know, there's in the warehouse complex that we're at, there's like, professional welders that, we have artists, we have actually welders that build, like, one guy, all he does is build display cases welded for REI. That's all he does.
Wow.
And like, I'm like, that's amazing. Like, and so we have this whole, it's an industrial complex. We are the gentrification. When we moved in, they're like, what is she doing? But now they all love it because now they can come and get a meal. They can come and get cheese. And I'm impressed how these, mostly gentlemen, there's a couple ladies, but mostly gentlemen, they come over now and get cheese and charcuterie. And you know what our best thing we did when we moved in here, Kendall, almost 3 years ago? We set up a coffee pot because there's no coffee shops around here. And I don't want to be a coffee shop. That's not my game. Like, it's just not.
Yeah.
And so we set up regular coffee with cream and sugar in the raw, free. You can have it. Bring your own cup. And people come in every morning and get a cup of coffee. And it's totally created a conversation and community in a warehouse.
I love that. That is a really great idea. Yeah.
And nobody can complain because it's free. I don't have decaf, I don't have soy milk, and I don't have sugar, fake sugar. And nobody's complaining because it's free. It's great.
Yeah. I love the idea because, how do we keep bringing people together? Something that I think is important always, but right now we're trying to specifically be really intentional about our commitment to equity work. And cheese can be seen as a very artisanal cheese, which can be pricier, can be seen as an elitist thing, which those of us in cheese know, though, that cheese is supposed to be of and by and for the people, meaning that when people didn't have protein to eat, you used your surplus of milk, you made cheese, and that's what fed you and sustained you.
Right.
So how do we simultaneously educate on the fact that real food actually costs money and that our makers aren't even making enough money on this, and it's not a 99-cent patty, but at the same time be accessible to those who can't afford a lot more. And so I think it's something that we are trying to intentionally work around all the time, and answer and come up with other creative, unique ways to stay and be more accessible and be more inclusive. But I love the idea of putting out a community coffee pot just to create conversations in that space as one small token and way to do that.
It's been really fun. We put 4 picnic tables outside. They're all safety seated, and it's been our landlord. Thankfully, we have a really nice landlord. He's like, do whatever you need to do to stay in business. And so we ordered picnic tables, and they're outside, and it's become like the community spot for the warehouse district, and it's really fun. And they no longer make fun of me as the gentrification now.
Hey, you have to own it and then say, okay, I'm part of it, and what am I going to do about it, right?
Exactly.
One of our teammates brought up, hey, if we're really going to dive into this space, we have to acknowledge that the neighborhood that we're in, which is Hyde Park neighborhood in Austin, Texas, at one time, just like across the United States, Austin is not unique in this way, but had redlining in areas where people could live and didn't live and was segregated. And I looked up and saw an old poster that says Hyde Park neighborhood, no blacks allowed. So this is being something that we need to reconcile as part of our past. Whereas as I continue to educate myself, I used to be like, oh, we're situated in the cute and quaint historic Hyde Park neighborhood. Now it's like, oh, wait, do we want to own that cute and quaint historic Hyde Park neighborhood? Or as we are learning more, acknowledge those roots and what that means, and then how are we getting cheese into who and what people? So anyway, just some work. And the reason this is on my mind today and talking about it is I just got off of a phone conversation with somebody on the topic. So
I think it's great. I mean, you can make that change and have people acknowledge and then bring that change.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's really important to do.
Yeah, we're working on it, and we got a lot more work to do for sure.
We all have a lot of work to do currently in this entire country as we leave it right there. But I know you and John do a lot in your community, like philanthropically, time-wise, volunteering or contributing. And I always ask all my guests if you would please share what you do in your community. And I always like to specify, it's not what you do, contributing financially, because, a lot of cheese people do community service in very private ways. And it's always amazing to learn what you all do in your own backyard.
Yeah, I think to your point, any other year we're profitable or not. So we knew pretty early on we said that if we couldn't ever give back to our community, then this business wasn't worth doing, that we needed to be able to support the community that supports us. So from the beginning, that was one of the core principles of our business. That said, we were like, how do we give money when we don't have any? And especially the early years where we were like, we're not even paying ourselves. Like, how do we say no to all these people? What do we do? And that's when we came up with what we call our philanthropy plan. And so we partner with a nonprofit each month, and they are our hashtag charitable cheese cause of the month. We donate a percent of revenue to them. But really, honestly, the revenue, even when I'm partnering with them, I'm like, this is not going to be a big check, for the record. It's
Right.
not a big donation. But what it does is we have 25,000 followers on Instagram. We have 17,000 subscribers for our weekly newsletter and get a quarter opens on it. I said, so what we're going to do is use our voice and amplify your mission and your message. So I won't be able to make a big financial donation, but I hope that I'm exposing you to people who will. And so that's what we've done now all these years, as we spotlight those 12 nonprofits throughout the year. And then we also, just like a lot of other cheese shops, do donations. We try not to do donations of a cheese tray. Mostly this came early on, but we've all seen a cheese tray out at a party, and like, the marketing opportunity is the minute it's laid down, and then it's just gross, and it's like picked over. And if somebody can't sit there, make it look beautiful. And oftentimes, especially in the artisanal world, people don't realize the value of that goods on those.
Right.
So we instead give 2 tickets to a cheese tasting class. That's our regular raffle prize. What it does for us, that's a win-win, is it gets the people to come in and see our business and interact with us, and then hopefully we can convert them to a customer. And at the same time, those tickets will often go for a lot more than their value. So I just counted today, and I'm really proud of our business, and I can't wait to share this with our team. But in this year, so far, in a pandemic year, we have given raffles and auction items to 50 individual nonprofits. In fact, I told John, I was like, oops, sorry, I don't think I was keeping track. But the good news is, I'm really proud of us and excited. The bad news is I was like, oh, I might have gone a little overboard. But anyway, 50 different unique nonprofits in Austin. And then also we, in addition to those 12 that we do, and then John and I serve on a few different boards. So I'm on the American Cheese Education Foundation board, which, by the way, if anybody listens to this, we are currently looking to that's my Texan for you. We're currently looking to fill 3 positions by folks who identify as people of color and or provide other representation than our board currently has, recognizing that we have limited lived experiences on our board right now. So anyway, American Cheese Education Foundation, the Thinkery, the Austin Child Guidance Center. So we do a lot of board service. That was early on the way that we determined we could give back, is we were like, we can't give any money. We don't have any money, but we're just going to give our labor. And so those are the main ways that we're doing that work. And then, as we already talked about, our commitment in the equity space and holding ourselves accountable. We have a page on our website of what we are doing and keeping a running list, so that it's not something that we put out a statement one time, but we show continued engaged work on.
That's great. And I'll be sure to put your link on the YouTube video and on our website video, and we'll send it to you. And we have your logo. And I love learning what people do locally and nationally, like being on the American Cheese Society board or being on a committee. And yeah, it's really important. And I love the principal concept of donating classes. Is that's what we do too. And because we hope it engages them to then become one of our customers or learn about our core values and ethics that we carry in our company.
Yeah, for sure.
And like you said, the first time I gifted a cheese board maybe 25 years ago, and then saw it just look, I was a nervous wreck. I thought I was going to have a heart attack, because there's my business cards. And an unattended cheese board can just go down south quickly. And just notes to other people out there, I never give the unattended cheese board anymore, only because it just quickly doesn't do anything for our brand. And if we can't convey the value of it. To the same thing, I've seen gift baskets, which I know have $150 worth of product in, and they'll go for like, $25. I'm like, no, there's so many good things in there. So people seem to value those experiences, and they'll bid on them appropriately. So it's good for the nonprofit and good for our business. Completely agree. Thank you for bringing that up. I think that's an important part. And I know John has to stay with the kids, but I want to thank you and John for taking the time today to be part of the Cheese Chat. And I'm honored to have you all on, and I look forward to taking one of your classes and ordering a box. I just did a DeBruno Brothers one. So
Oh, fun. I should do that too.
it's kind of fun to like bounce around the country and take somebody else's classes, you know, and like next week we're doing a class, we have 50 people, so we have to drop the may the ice packs be frozen on Monday, the 50 boxes.
You can do it. You can do it.
So, but I want to thank you both for being on here, and also thanking you both for your commitment to the American Cheese Society. Oh,
Sorry, while you're thanking us, y'all try and order. You can order from them direct, but a new local chocolatier, Elliot, one of the partner owners, used to be a cheesemonger, but they are making Indian spice inspired chocolate bars, which are awesome and beautiful packaging. So try out Madhu. Again, you can order from them directly. Okay, I had all these other things. Just all I'm gonna say, support Madhu today. That'll be my
before we go.
No, that was a good one.
Okay.
I want if one thing stays in somebody's head, go support Madhu chocolates.
Perfect, and we'll add them to your link, but we'll get their website from you.
Cool.
So thank you so much, Kendall, for taking the time, and John, thank you over there with the kids.
I know he's upstairs, and just my shout out to everybody in the industry. I know we all are having different experiences and things are tough and anxiety is out there. So if we can ever be a resource, please call us up. If I said something that was offensive, I'm learning, please call us up, or if we could do anything better, let us know. So just, I'm grateful every single day to this community in this industry. So Sheana, thank you for the opportunity just to remind ourselves and reconnect about what it's all about.
And thank you for you and John being yourselves and to your true honored opinion and keeping the faith in your community. So thank you kindly.
Yay, thanks Sheana.
Have a great day.
Bye everybody, hang in there.
Oh, Ben, you didn't do a run through.
I'm gonna get peppers.